you understand from various studies and researches show that, women representation in leadership positions, again, still continues to be considerably low. And I understand this is across the globe. Having dealt with a lot of women professionals and organizations, what, according to you, are some of the key reasons for this reality of women still not having a certain level of representation in leadership positions? And have you yourself experienced constraints in identifying and developing women leaders in your work in the development sector?
Yeah, I'll start with the first one. This is a matter of great study, etc. But I think broadly, there is a deep culture issue and the whole issue of archetypes and so on that creates a very firm set, bedrock. And to dismantle it takes years of work, of which a lot has been. There's been huge movement where we are today, and each decade there's such, there's changes we can mark. And the issue now of gender itself being far more fluid than only about men and women, far more it's not so binary, and all the issues there. So we live in complex times of identity and so on. However, if we look in our context of being a woman in all with all these caveats, I would say that the constraints are really deep culture constraints, and the decision maker, the perpetuation and perpetration of the patriarchal system is, while it sounds very hackneyed, it is very real in structure, systems, and processes, in terms of how families are structured, and therefore the family is really the starting point for it. And we really need to begin at that level because the biggest constraints begin at the family level. My own sense is that if we can open it up at the family level, then the possibilities for change are accelerated. Having said this, the workplace, even the non-profit sector, stereotypes that exist in our kinds of organizations, in corporate organizations, in women in panchayats. For example, we have a whole research project on how we can bring self-help groups as well as reservations for women in elected women representatives together. So this is what the Stanford Impact Labs is supporting, the whole research around this, to see how we can bring it together so elected women can actually represent female constituencies. There's a big gap over there, and it just is not happening. So one is for you yourself, in any field, to reach a position where we actually are able to be there because of our own merit and are not being dragged down because of the deep culture issues. And the second is to be able to represent and support other women. These are immense challenges today. And I completely agree with your question that this is something we all need to be very, very sensitive to. You were saying, right? Have I faced difficulties? Yes. I faced a lot of difficulties in. One is I faced difficulties myself. I myself have not been able to, whether it's vis-a-vis the governance structure of organizations I've been, vis-a-vis the management structure, vis-a-vis the larger group, to be able to navigate issues of gender and class for me have been huge issues and continue to be issues, particularly now in the growing vernacularization of the situation of the country. So in this case, there is anyway a whole anti-elite movement. So even those of us who have worked very strongly to work with communities and so on, we have to be very, very cautious about how we position ourselves. I think in terms of social change, and be very, very circumspect in terms of the roles we can play. And try to see, I think the whole concept of pradhan, of giving back to society, is no longer as simple as it used to be. In my own experience of 35 years, 37 now on the 18th of April. But the second thing I think is even to be empathetic to younger women, where they can marry who they want to, where they face honor killing, even if they're professionals, where they can choose a profession of their choice, marry somebody of their choice, have children or not, live in a place where they want to eat what they want to, dress how they want to, leave alone many other, educate themselves in the way they want to. It's a huge struggle. And then to be able to work within organizations where if a woman has a child, what do other women, how do they support them? Are women treated as though they are not productive anymore? There are times in which in planning for staff, we say, I want two women. If you give me one man, you give me two women, because one of them may, drop out or get married. Or in interviews, we say, oh, so are you planning to get married? How do you change all these kinds of, very deep rooted behavior? You can't monitor people on a day to day basis. Issues related to efficiencies, that I don't have money. It's cheaper for me to hire a man. Or in the work that we do currently with women in the workplace, we are getting women to join the garment industry. So it takes not much money. It costs $150 to train a woman and to place her 95% placement, to have a small creche where her child can go, and to have a bridge school where her uh, grown up children from school can come and get tuition and all while mom is at work. But the thought process still is that women need creches, not that male workers need creches. Mm-hmm. Creches are needed by both people. Right. The second problem there is that it only costs $150, after which the same woman can earn that much a month and pay for this if her husband refuses to pay for all this. Otherwise, it's even half if they agree to split it. So it just doesn't cost that much if you plan it. If funders build it into their programs. So these are big challenges that we face.